I want to go no contact with my child's dad because he's in prison.
Won't be that hard to not be in contact.
I, 26 female, have a 6-month-old son with my ex, 31 male, of 1 month. I know what you may be thinking, and yes, you read it right. Before my son, I was a hopeless romantic and I accepted love in all the wrong places. When I broke up with my ex and soon after found out I was pregnant, I learned my lesson about having relationships and being too trusting of people I barely know. I have been single and focusing on taking care of my son ever since. A little background on the history of my ex and I. And by the way, this comes from user Routine Librarian 883 on the okstorytime subreddit. We met on social media last year and he texted me first with a line that I've never heard from anyone. It made me laugh, so I thought I'd give him a chance. He said all the right things to me and lied about so much. For example, he lied about having a twin sister and she's the same age as me, and I fell for it. What a weird lie.
Maybe people find lying attractive.
That was just a weird, compulsive lie. We ended up meeting in person, and he told me that he loved me after a week or so of being together.
Aww.
A major red flag that I ignored. And that was the very night I conceived my son.
Let's go. I love you. You get a son.
That's a love baby, right?
I love you, Dakota.
That's a I love you baby. Shortly afterwards, I found out he was cheating on me and he stole money from me. Then about a month later, I found out I was pregnant, and when I told him, he was excited at first. We kept a line of communication, but he made most of my pregnancy stressful. He denied my child and told people that I was pregnant when we met. We only had spicy sleep once. We didn't, but if we did, the dummy doesn't realize that it only takes one time to get pregnant and that we were never in a relationship. In the same breath, he was trying to cheat on his several girlfriends with me, but I wasn't having it. I would also notify him of appointments to check on the baby, and he would say he'll come, and ended up being a no-show. I tried to keep him updated on the baby, and he would say that I didn't. He had me involved in so much drama, and I eventually found out he had 2 other women pregnant at the same time as me. This guy's an overachiever.
Whoa.
Very, very strong swimmer.
Sharp shooter.
He denies getting one of those 2 pregnant, but I know he's lying. It was just all too much. Eventually, we went no contact, and shortly after, he went to jail. He stayed for the better half of the pregnancy, and for about the first month of him being incarcerated, we got back in contact with each other again, and he tried to make me do favors for him that I wasn't comfortable doing because it would start drama, or I just wasn't obligated to do any of these things. And this became a huge problem for him since I was not doing what he wanted. It turned into an argument, and he told me not to contact him again, so I told him he wouldn't hear from me again and blocked him. Imagine having the cojones to be in prison and being like, don't contact me, we're done.
Wow.
For months, he had strangers texting me on his behalf, asking me to contact him because he felt remorseful. I blocked those numbers as well because I didn't want to stress anymore during the rest of my pregnancy than I already have. Long story short, we were in contact on and off, and he eventually was released from jail. He didn't attend the birth of the baby because I didn't want him there. Thank God.
Wow.
I wanted to have a peaceful labor and delivery, which you deserve. After my son's birth, he was asking to see him, but I didn't want him anywhere near us. My mom made me change my mind by telling me that I should let him see the baby because I don't want to give him the chance to say that I never let my son see him if he were to ask in the future why he couldn't come around him. To this day, he has not physically seen my son since he was born and has only helped once with him financially. He's only seen him via FaceTime, and after a month of my son being born, he went back to jail for violating his probation. Ever since, we have been on and off with communication. He always tries to get back in a relationship with me, even when I have told him no several times, and he knows why, but expects me to get over him treating me like crap when I was pregnant. This guy sounds like a grade A scumbag. Don't get back together with him. Probably keep your child away from him as well. He flirts with me and calls me bae even after I would tell him to stop. We still fight from time to time, and he always goes out of his way to disrespect me. So now I don't answer when he calls unless the baby is awake, and he says things to me like, when I call, you need to answer, and don't let anyone keep you away from me. These are huge red flags. Like, don't let him know where you are.
Change the number, move.
Get out of the area you're in. Yeah, you don't want this guy messing around. He sounds like he's kind of going to go off the deep end here. I don't want to talk to him unless it's about our son. I've made this clear to him several times, and he blatantly dismisses it and gets angry because he can't get any control over me. He doesn't respect me or my wishes, and I don't want to deal with it any longer. But I don't want to deny my son of his father. I feel like he thinks he has some kind of sense of ownership over me because I have his child, and it doesn't sit well with me at all. Would Would I be the a-hole if I stopped contacting him because he makes me feel uncomfortable? You'll never make us feel uncomfortable. When you join us live on YouTube every weekday at 3 p.m. PST, just tap on our profile.
I understand your consideration for your kid not wanting them to be angry at you that you never saw, that they never got to saw their father. I think it's safe that if they make you feel uncomfortable, you don't owe them the right to stay in contact. And you can explain that to your kid when they get older. They may hate you for a little bit, but I think you have to protect you and your own first.
The vibes I'm getting from this guy are definitely not someone who would be safe to have around.
Yeah.
I think literally for the safety of you and your son, it's probably best that he does not ever find himself in a position where he could have power or control over either of you. Thank all of you that have been giving very helpful advice. I really appreciate it. Also, any negative comments will be deleted and you will be blocked. I know what I did was not the best thing, but as I stated in the beginning of this post, I learned my lesson. I have an example to set for my son, and I will never believe anything or trust anything another man tells me unless I see some action behind it and he matches it. I'm not dating and don't intend to. My main focus is on my healing and making sure my baby is taken care of. Yeah, you don't need to focus on dating. You just need to focus on the healing and focus on raising your kid.
It'll be a minute, but be patient with yourself.
Yeah, because if we don't heal, we can't really be there for others if we don't be there for ourselves first.